Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit, where today we dive straight into a heated international automotive drama. Recent U.S. tariffs, originally imposed by President Trump, have ignited a fresh wave of global trade tension, significantly shaking industries like steel, aluminum, and automotive sectors. Sweden, historically a staunch advocate for free trade, finds itself in a tight spot. Should it align fully with the European Union's bold retaliatory moves or steer its own diplomatic route? Crucially, how will Sweden's strategic choice impact its prized automotive and industrial sectors? Buckle up as we explore 7 significant impacts of Sweden's decisive response to U.S. tariffs. Impact number 7. Sweden at the crossroads, free trade versus retaliation. Sweden thrives on open borders and global trade. Exports account for roughly half its GDP. For decades, Sweden has championed global integration, especially within automotive, pharmaceutical, and engineering industries. But the U.S.'s aggressive tariffs challenge this tradition head-on, forcing Sweden into unfamiliar territory: participation in retaliatory measures led by the EU. This strategic shift away from Sweden's traditional open trade principles alarms the National Board of Trade, which warns that prolonged protectionist measures could stunt economic growth and limit innovation. Worse yet, retaliating risks damaging Sweden's diplomatic and commercial relationships with the United States, its third-largest export market. Yet, abstaining could leave Sweden politically isolated within the EU, reducing its influence on future trade negotiations. Clearly, Sweden stands at a crossroads, needing to carefully navigate this complex issue by balancing its long-held trade convictions with assertive actions to safeguard its national interests. Impact number 6. Swedish automotive titans under siege. Sweden's robust automotive industry, home to powerhouse brands Volvo and Scania, is feeling intense pressure from U.S. tariffs. Take Volvo Cars, which operates a substantial manufacturing facility in South Carolina. These escalating tariffs inflate production costs significantly, pushing Volvo to reconsider its entire global manufacturing strategy. Automotive News reports Volvo now seriously exploring shifting parts of its U.S. production back to European or Asian plants to offset rising expenses. Meanwhile, truck manufacturer Scania also faces escalating expenses and troubling disruptions to its global supply chains. Industry insiders worry that prolonged tariff conflicts could trigger drastic operational changes across these companies, potentially affecting thousands of jobs and weakening local economies that heavily rely on automotive production. Swedish automotive leaders urgently advocate for diplomatic solutions to ease these damaging tariffs, emphasizing their sector's critical importance to Sweden's overall economic stability and global competitiveness. Impact number 5. High-tech and engineering firms face stormy roads. Sweden's innovative high-tech and engineering sectors, leaders in robotics, automation, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology, depend heavily on frictionless international trade. U.S. tariffs threaten this vital global collaboration, potentially slowing innovation, scaring off foreign investors, and limiting international technological exchanges. Already, prominent Swedish corporations like ABB, SKF, and Ericsson are experiencing rising uncertainty. According to the Stockholm Chamber of Commerce, these companies are actively diversifying their markets toward Asia and Africa to mitigate exposure to ongoing tariff battles. Even worse, sustained trade disputes could seriously impair Sweden's celebrated research and development initiatives, stunting the nation's hard-earned position at the forefront of global tech innovation. Industry analysts urge swift and strategic government interventions to secure Sweden's international technological leadership in these uncertain times. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now, let's explore impact number 4. EU strikes back. Sweden joins collective retaliation. Sweden's active participation in the EU's coordinated retaliation against U.S. tariffs symbolizes broader European unity against protectionist measures. The EU has strategically targeted American exports, agriculture, tech goods, alcoholic beverages, and textiles to apply effective economic pressure, pushing for diplomatic resolutions. Economists from the European Centre for International Political Economy underline Sweden's pivotal role in reinforcing EU-wide solidarity. While Sweden's alignment with the EU does entail short-term economic risks, it significantly boosts Europe's collective bargaining strength on the international stage. Yet Sweden's participation is not without potential drawbacks. Retaliatory tariffs threaten Sweden's own economic stability, complicating attempts to maintain steady economic growth. Nonetheless, Sweden's firm backing of EU measures highlights its commitment to European cohesion, prioritizing collective influence and diplomatic strength during these volatile trade negotiations. Impact number 3. Sweden eyes new roads. Market diversification. Facing uncertainty from tense U.S. trade relations, Sweden is proactively shifting gears to tap into emerging markets across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Sweden's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has ramped up diplomatic missions and trade delegations, forging stronger economic ties with rising automotive and industrial markets like China, India, and South Korea. These nations demonstrate a growing appetite for Swedish innovation, advanced manufacturing, and sustainable tech solutions. Additionally, markets in Africa and the Middle East increasingly welcome Scandinavian expertise, especially in sustainable infrastructure and digital technology. Volvo's sustainability initiatives and Scania's green tech truck solutions perfectly align with these markets' infrastructure ambitions, providing lucrative opportunities to offset potential US-related losses. But diversification isn't without bumps in the road. Sweden must carefully manage cultural, regulatory, and logistical barriers to succeed in these newer regions. Overcoming these hurdles requires strategic patience, investment, and long-term commitment. Yet if Sweden navigates these challenges successfully, it could significantly reduce its vulnerability to Western market volatility, ensuring a more resilient economic engine for the future. Impact number 2. Sweden's economic high-stakes gamble. Retaliation versus diplomacy. Sweden's decision to fully back the EU's retaliatory tariffs represents a bold yet risky economic strategy. Leading financial institutions like Nordea Bank warn that such aggressive actions could potentially shave off between 1% to 2% of Sweden's GDP growth, highlighting immediate economic vulnerabilities stemming from this move. Despite these dangers, Sweden's approach isn't purely combative. Swedish Trade Minister Benjamin Dusa consistently emphasizes openness to diplomatic dialogue, signaling a willingness to pursue reconciliation alongside protective measures. Sweden aims for a balanced approach, supporting EU unity in confronting protectionism, while simultaneously exploring diplomatic off-ramps to minimize economic fallout. This cautious yet assertive stance underscores Sweden's sophisticated strategy: navigate immediate economic risks carefully, but with a clear eye on securing long-term stability. How effectively Sweden manages this delicate balancing act will profoundly impact its economy and diplomatic relations for years to come. Impact number 1. Sweden in the driver's seat, shaping global trade. Sweden now finds itself uniquely positioned to steer international trade policy at a pivotal moment. Strategically nestled between the economic giants, the US and the EU, Sweden could take a proactive role in advocating balanced and pragmatic trade policies, blending firm diplomatic engagement with strategic market diversification. According to experts at Stockholm University, Sweden stands to set a global example by championing innovative approaches, harmonizing cooperative international trade with pragmatic economic policies. Successfully navigating the current trade tensions would elevate Sweden's global profile, reinforcing its reputation as a decisive, innovative economic leader. However, a misstep here could mean economic isolation, dramatically shrinking Sweden's international influence. Sweden's upcoming choices aren't merely about tariffs. They'll define its legacy on the global stage, distinguishing it as either an influential global leader or a passive bystander in the shifting tides of international trade. Conclusion: navigating Sweden's economic crossroads. Sweden's next steps are critical, carrying massive implications for its economy and global influence. Facing pressure to either firmly align with the EU's retaliatory stance or cautiously seek diplomatic common ground with the US, Sweden must carefully plot its course. The stakes couldn't be higher. Sweden's decisions today will set the trajectory for international trade relationships far into the future, shaping the nation's global economic presence for decades. Now here's where you come in. Should Sweden double down on retaliation alongside the EU, or carefully pursue diplomatic solutions with the US? Let us know your thoughts and share your perspectives down in the comments section. If you enjoyed today's deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon to stay updated on future automotive news, industry insights, and the latest global economic trends right here at Piston Pundit. Thanks for watching. Drive safe and see you next time.